Hey girl, welcome to the Feminine Founder Podcast, where we're all about learning and growing professionally so that we can build a life that we are proud of and really love. My name is Caroline, and I'm a social media marketing expert, obsessed with teaching female entrepreneurs how to start, grow, and scale their personal brand and business online. This podcast is all about sharing our stories and learning from each other on how to navigate our professional journey so that we can live our best lives. So if you're just starting your entrepreneurial journey, or if you are growing and scaling an epic company, you are in the right place, friend. All right, today I want to talk about something that I've got on my heart right now, and I wanted to come on here on the podcast and talk to you guys about it because I get pitched for individuals to be a guest on my podcast a lot. And I am so grateful to have that opportunity. I'm so grateful that people are excited about the podcast and want to be on it. But there is a right way and a wrong way to do a podcast pitch. And so I'm going to go off today about what is the wrong way and what's the right way to do it. Okay. So if you're listening to this podcast and maybe you've hired an agency to solicit you to be on more podcasts, really have a good understanding of exactly how this agency is pitching you to be on other people's podcast. Because here's what happens to me, and here's why I don't accept a lot of their guests, is because of their way that they solicit their clients to me. And the agencies do that. They come at me in my emails and my DMs, and they want to talk about how great this client that they're representing is. And I'm sure that person is amazing and doing really cool things, and I'm so excited for them. But they don't ever make it about the actual audience. How can they serve my audience? How can they serve the Feminine Founder listeners? And that's the number one mistake that they make. Number two, when you're soliciting yourself or having an agency solicit you to be on a podcast, really have a good understanding of who you're soliciting to. What is their podcast about? Who are their listeners? How can what you have to say benefit their audience? That's one thing I always think about, and one thing I always will always be important to me is protecting this space of the Feminine Founder audience. Is you want to make sure you know who your audience is that you're pitching to. So, on the other hand, the right way to pitch a podcast guest. Okay, I'm literally going to tell you exactly how to pitch me on this podcast. If you want to be a guest on my podcast or on any podcast, start engaging with the host. Okay, start giving engagement, start commenting on their stuff online. May it be on social media, or maybe go write them a positive review on Apple Podcasts. I guarantee you, as a podcast host, I look at every single one of those. And maybe I know the person who wrote it, or maybe I don't. It just depends. But that's one thing that you can do to get the podcast host's attention, okay? Start interacting with their content. Leave a positive review for their podcast. That goes a really long way. Or if you're going to send a DM or a email, make it super intentional. Make it about how what you have to say, how what you know can serve their audience, and how their listeners can benefit from having you on the show. And that is the best approach to do when you're soliciting yourself to be a guest on a podcast, is make it about them, not about you. I know you're listening to this podcast and you've probably done some really cool stuff, and I bet all the things, but when you're soliciting yourself to be a guest on a podcast, the podcast host, wants to interview someone that's going to be someone of interest that their listeners and their audience want to hear from, okay? So anyways, I'm going to stop going off my rant right now on how to pitch yourself to be on a podcast, but I get so many pitches every single week. Again, I'm so grateful for that. But there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, and I want you to do it the right way. So until next time, thanks for listening. Don't forget to share and subscribe.